Actor T.K. Carter, known for his roles in the 1980s horror classic The Thing and TV's Punky Brewster,
was putting his order in. And maybe he did that as part of his comedy routine, I don't know. But it was just hilarious, man. I love that dude. And just as cool as could be.
Das Entscheidende, Sie reden darüber, wie man jemanden streichen kann, den Gott nicht streichen ließ. Wenn du herumalberst und dich mit Gottes Leuten anlegst, wirst du...
When word broke that T.K. Carter had been found unresponsive in his home, the reaction was immediate. This wasn't a headline-chasing celebrity death. This was the kind of loss that hits actors, writers, and fans who grew up watching someone steadily show up decade after decade doing the work.
Stand-up tour and some movies that I'm doing. First movie I'm gonna direct that I wrote. And, I'm just trying to right now just do projects to give, our people some work, you know what I'm saying?
Authorities confirmed there were no signs of foul play. No public spectacle. Just a life that ended naturally, leaving behind unanswered questions and a long trail of performances that suddenly feels too heavy to watch.
He was found dead yesterday in his Duarte home. Police did not reveal how he died, but say no foul play is suspected. Carter's movie and TV career spanned decades, beginning in the mid-1970s.
For many in Hollywood, the shock wasn't just that he died. It was realizing how much he had always been there.
Well, this is what I do. This is what I do, man. Today we on the lot today, doing a show. I can't tell you what show, but I'm doing what I do, man. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm tired of it, but then all of a sudden the phone ring and I find myself wound up on the set. Well, that's what an OG do, baby. So we here, man. The people are here. We're here. We're getting it done, and I'm getting it done, and we're just doing what we do. Can't tell you what show, but I'll let you guys know later. I'm out. I just left the hood.
T.K. Carter has died. The beloved performer, whose career spanned nearly 5 decades, was found deceased at his home in Duarte, California on January.
For nearly 50 years, his face had lived in our homes, on our screens, in our memories. And now Hollywood was forced to stop and face the loss of a man who never chased fame, but earned respect from everyone who truly knew their onions.
You better pay attention to me now. You done left that lady alone. See, you a two-time TK two-timing on me. What's going on with you? You single?
Yeah, I'm cool.
I'll get it out of him.
I think I'm gonna stay single for a while. Yeah. So that's cool.
Oh well, what you gonna do when you go in there? Cause there's so many ladies. Jim Jones. There are Megan Goods in there. They popping champagne. What you gonna do?
I'm just gonna be cool and kick back, you understand what I'm saying? You got to leave LA, so I don't want to get too,
Okay, that's what's going on. Let us know some of the projects you got going on.
Well, I got my stand-up album I'm getting ready to do.
T.K. Carter was never marketed as a superstar. He didn't need to be. His value was never about marquee billing or opening weekend numbers. It was about reliability. He was the kind of actor directors trusted to walk onto a set and instantly make it better. The kind writers quietly hoped would get cast, because they knew he would understand the rhythm, the subtext, the silences between the lines. And for his co-stars, he was often the emotional anchor, the person who steadied scenes without ever demanding attention for it.
Well, this is what I do. This is what I do, man. Today we on the lot today, doing a show. I can't tell you what show, but I'm doing what I do, man. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I'm tired of it, but then all of a sudden the phone ring and I find myself wound up on the set. Well, that's what an OG do.
Born Thomas Kent Carter, he entered the industry in the 1970s, when the path into Hollywood was narrow and unforgiving. There were no shortcuts, no social media followings to lean on. The auditions were crowded, roles were scarce, and rejection was constant. Carter learned early that survival in the business meant endurance, showing up again after being told no, staying sharp even when the phone stopped ringing, and believing that preparation would eventually meet opportunity. And yes, he persisted.
So we here, and the people are here. We're here. We're getting it done. And I'm getting it done. And we're just doing what we do. Can't tell you which show, but I'll let you guys know later. I'm out. I just left the hood.
Kay Carter has died. The beloved performer, whose career spanned nearly 5 decades, was found deceased at his home in Duarte, California on January 9th, 2026. Law enforcement says there are no signs of foul play, though the official cause of death has not yet been released at this time. Carter, born Thomas Kent Carter in New York City in 1956, became a familiar face in Hollywood thanks to his versatility across film and television.
Hold on, now just hold on. Everybody knows that I am the greatest. I read, I listen to the radio, and I think about things.
I was shot today.
He broke out in the early 80s with his role as Knowles in John Carpenter's The Thing, a performance that horror fans still celebrate today. But his credits didn't stop there. He brought charm and grit to comedies like Seems Like Old Times, delivered laughs in Ski Patrol and Dr. Detroit, and lit up TV screens as Mike Fulton on Punky Brewster, and later as T-Bone on The Steve Harvey Show. Even in recent years, Carter was active, with appearances on shows like Dave and The Company You Keep as recently as 2023. Fans recognized him not just for his roles, but for his impact on genre classics and beloved series alike. Reactions are already pouring in across social media, with fans remembering his iconic turns.
What set him apart was his refusal to be boxed in. He moved easily between drama and comedy, between gritty realism and lighthearted television. One year he could be playing a grounded, working-class character, the next stepping into a comedic role that demanded timing and restraint. That flexibility wasn't accidental. It came from studying people, listening more than he spoke, and understanding that every role, no matter the size, deserved full commitment.
You know, just what can I say? Two size small. JJ! To bring Pablo! Head with an awesome, awesome, until we are dead!
For horror fans, his name will always be tied to John Carpenter's The Thing. As Knowles, the laid-back cook gliding through the frozen chaos on roller skates, Carter did something subtle but powerful. He brought calm into a story defined by fear. He didn't overplay the paranoia. He didn't chase hero moments. He felt human. And that humanity grounded the film in a way few performances could.
Carter's movie and TV career spanned decades. Beginning in the mid-1970s, his big break was playing Knowles the cook in The Thing. Some of his other big screen credits include Ski Patrol and Space Jam in the 1990s. Carter.
When The Thing first arrived, it was dismissed by many. But as the years passed and the film was re-examined, Carter's performance gained new weight. Fans began to see Knowles not just as a supporting character, but as a presence. Someone you trusted in a world where trust was dangerous. Someone who felt familiar. And long after the credits roll, that familiarity is what lingers.
2026. Law enforcement says there are no signs of foul play, though the official cause of death has not yet been released at this time. Carter, born Thomas Kent Carter in New York City in 1956, became a familiar face in Hollywood thanks to his versatility across film and television.
Hold on, now just hold on. Everybody knows that I am the greatest. I read, I listen to the radio, and I think about things.
I was shot today.
He broke out in the early 80s with his role as Knowles in John Carpenter's The Thing, a performance that horror fans still celebrate today. But his credits didn't stop there. He brought charm and grit to comedies like Seems Like Old Times, delivered laughs in Ski Patrol and Dr. Detroit, and lit up TV screens as Mike Fulton on Punky Brewster, and later as T-Bone on The Steve Harvey Show. Even in recent years, Carter was active, with appearances on shows like Dave and The Company You Keep as recently as 2023. Fans recognized him not just for his roles, but for his impact on genre classics and beloved series alike. Reactions are already pouring in across social media, with fans remembering his iconic turns, his humor, and the unmistakable screen presence that made him a standout in both comedy and horror. TK Carter was 69. Our condolences to his friends, family, and fans around the world. May he rest in eternal peace.
Beyond horror, TK Carter's range truly came alive on television, where time, repetition, and character growth rewarded actors who understood patience. On Punky Brewster, he played Mike Fulton, a role that quietly became one of the emotional anchors of the show.
I never forget it. I ain't gonna mention names. She wouldn't give me the role.
Why do you think they didn't see you as Gary immediately?
Because they got haters out there, bro. They
wanted a big name for it? They want like a bigger name?
They just didn't want...
They had names in mind? Why did they see you as Gary?
How did they see me?
Why did they not see you and say that's
I
Gary?
don't know why they didn't. Maybe this was my journey for me to really appreciate how I got it.
Okay.
But the bottom line to it, there's always going to be some hate. When there's a big opportunity for you in this town, every agent and manager in this town want their client to get it. And if they can stop you or say, he ain't something, oh yeah, he's good, but you know what, that last product he did, boom. See, I didn't care. I'm all in or not. I'm not playing blue. But they take my picture and they take my resume. Now I got the chops. That's one thing Eddie Murphy said. Eddie Murphy said, boy, that boy got chops. And I never forget what people who are up here, the compliment they give you, always store that and you keep that because it means something. They ain't saying it just to say it.
Yeah.
So I'm working, I got my chops. Week goes by. Chris Albrecht, who remembered me back from the comedy days, he's the president of HBO. He said, now let me just say something right now to you guys. Let's just cut it right now. He says, now I want you to look at all of these actors right here, and I want you to look at TK Carter. Who would you rather watch in the lead 6 hours? These guys or this guy? He says, I'm going with TK. I tell you what you do. You get him and Glenn Plummer to do scene, and whoever kills it, that'll be your Gary. Well, I'm getting ready to go to Maui in 2 days, so I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to go to Maui. I'm going to forget about this. This will be the end chapter. I'm doing what I got.
At a time when television families were often exaggerated or overly polished, Carter brought something rare: steadiness. Mike Fulton wasn't flashy. He didn't chase punchlines. He was absolutely dependable. And for a generation of kids watching at home, that was everything. For many viewers, he wasn't just part of the cast, he was the character who made the world of the show feel safe.
Traurige Neuigkeiten. Der Schauspieler T.K. Carter ist im Alter von 69 Jahren verstorben. Laut TMZ und deren Exklusivbericht wurde Carter am Freitag tot in seiner Wohnung in Kalifornien aufgefunden, nachdem ein Notruf getätigt worden war. Die Polizei teilte TMZ mit, der Notruf sei gegen 17:42 Uhr eingegangen und der Tod sei gemeldet worden. Es werde kein Fremdverschulden vermutet. Laut TMZ
Television in the 1980s demanded efficiency and consistency, and Carter thrived in that environment. Week after week, he delivered performances that never slipped into autopilot. He treated sitcom work with the same seriousness others reserved for film, understanding that comedy only works when it's rooted in truth. That mindset carried him into later roles, including The Steve Harvey Show, where the energy was louder, the personalities bigger, and the rhythm faster. On that set, Carter proved something important. He could stand next to dominant comedic voices and still hold his ground. His timing was precise but never mechanical. He knew when to pause, when to let a moment breathe, when to pull focus without forcing it. More importantly, he understood people. He watched how others moved, listened to how dialogue landed, and adjusted without ego. That adaptability made him invaluable in ensemble casts, where chemistry matters more than individual spotlight.
Down, and I did about 3 or 4 minutes on the floor before Good Times was being taped. They were coming out the back saying, "Who's this cat?" Next thing you know, I wound up being on Good Times, being one of, JJ's buddies. United We Stand. As a matter of fact, I wrote that cadence.
Really?
I write the show. Divided we stand, divided we fall. We tied it in pantyhose, 2 sizes small. JJ, Kubrick's, Pop O'Head, we're all forcing until we're dead. Down at the beach so he could be found. Call him Head for his name of renown. See all the movies, whatever it plays. 2 times 90 and names. Well, this man here is the Ebony Prince. No one like him before since. No one smooth as Brother J. Well, that's what, all of that was T. Oh, I don't. Let me just tell you, let me tell you something. So I got in that arena doing Good Times. The same producers. I was doing the Jeffersons. Matter of fact, that was the first time I met Gary Coleman. When I was on Good Times, that was the first time I ever saw Jimmy Walker get mad and tell him he ain't seeing Dynamite. That's when he had his perm. I ain't seeing Dynamite. We had to go home because, he was ticked off. And then I wound up doing warm-ups, like before the shows. I did the warm-ups as a comedian for Welcome Back, Kotter. I did the warm-ups for the comedian for Chico and the Man. He said, come on down, and I did about...
Behind the scenes, that same awareness made him a presence people gravitated toward. Fellow actors have often spoken about how Carter made sets feel safe, not in a dramatic way but in a human one. He checked in. He listened. He made space. In an industry built on competition and comparison, that kind of energy leaves a lasting mark. What made Carter's journey resonate even more was his honesty.
He gave us an extra scene that was like 3 to 4 pages. All monologue. I'm in shape for it because, I've been doing this since the 70s. So, I'm like, went up in there, man, and that room was packed. After I finished, you can hear a pin drop, and the lady who was reading with me was crying. And to this, it makes me cry because that show was for all of those people who couldn't make it with drug addiction, bro. And I'll never forget it. I'm in Hawaii on my way back, and they says, you got the lead. You got the role. Damn. So now, once you get the role, that's great. What you gonna do when you get it? Now it's time to go to work. And I set myself up and I closed myself off for 6 months because we got there in July. We rehearsed in July. Charles Dunn, August, September. We got out there in December. I was in Baltimore from...
He never sold a polished version of himself. He spoke openly about struggle, about rejection that stretched on for years, about addiction that nearly cost him his career, about faith that helped steady him when nothing else did. He talked about walking onto set while life was unraveling quietly behind the scenes, and still finding a way to deliver. Not because it was easy, but because the work demanded it.
I just lost my wife to cancer and was with her for 15 years. So I was just telling Trey, man, I said it comes to the point where my wife was battling for 8 years. She got diagnosed. So for 8 years, I had to balance creativity, with being supportive. And in the middle of that, being able to remember my lines, stay focused, as if nothing's happening over here, but knowing it's happening. Then taking that what's happening over here and putting it into my performance also too. While at the same time trying to remain normal in front of people. Don't really work. So,
the corner.
I don't know. So I'm doing the corner. Tasha Smith.
That vulnerability forged real connections. Actors like Tasha Smith have shared stories about feeding him, opening their homes, and believing in him when casting offices wouldn't. Those weren't publicity friendships. They were survival bonds. And when executives like Chris Albrecht stood up in rooms full of decision makers and said, "This is the guy you want to watch for 6 hours," it wasn't hype. It was recognition. Since his passing, the tributes haven't been loud, but they've been deeply personal. Actors, comedians, and writers have shared memories that never make headlines. Auditions where Carter stayed late to help someone run lines, quiet encouragement offered between takes, reminders that preparation matters more than hype. That's why his death feels personal across the industry. He wasn't just present on screen. He was present in people's lives. Even in recent years, TK Carter never disappeared. He appeared in modern series like Dave and the Company You Keep, not as a nostalgia act, but as a working professional. He didn't chase callbacks to old roles. He showed up ready and focused, proving that real talent doesn't age out, it adapts.
It was so funny. I'm telling you, at one point, as a matter of fact, he did this James Brown routine. It was James Brown at a drive-through McDonald's putting his order in. And maybe he did that as part of his comedy routine, I don't know. But it was just hilarious, man. I love that dude. And just as cool as could be. Man, so I'm heartbroken today for his family. I'm happy for him. He's gone home. And I wish him a peaceful journey home. And but my deepest condolences to his family, to his friends, and to all his fans around the world. TK, man, you were awesome, brother. God bless you, man. Safe journey home.
If anything, Carter believed preparation was everything. That if your foundation was solid, no role could overwhelm you. That belief shaped not just his performances, but the countless performers watching from the sidelines, learning how to last.
Thing.
Yeah, everybody talking about this Obama thing. Let's see what happens after the 20th.
Let's see what happens.
See if we can still be together.
Are you going to go to the inauguration?
No, I'm going to be right here.
You're going to be right here at 7:40?
No. I'm not going to be down here. Be somewhere.
Okay, that's what's going on. You have a website that the people can check you out at?
www.tkcarter.com.
That's what's going on, baby. Go on inside and pop you some bottles, baby.
You too.
At his memorial, there were no grand speeches about fame. No inflated praise. Instead, people spoke about moments, small kindnesses, long rehearsals, words of encouragement offered when they mattered most. They talked about a man who trusted God with his journey, who believed doors opened when they were meant to, who understood that some roles come late but they come for a reason. And above all, they spoke with gratitude.
What it is material. If somebody gave you Trading Places, let's say Trading Places has never been done. They say we want Tony Rock right now to play it. He could do it. If he say, okay, we're giving you Lethal Weapon. You're gonna play the Mel Gibson, you're gonna play the Danny Glover part, and you ready? The script is A1. You can't lose it. The recipe. It's the recipe for the food. It's theirs. One, you mess it up. If you're top of line chef, that was my role of all roles. That if I look at that thing today, I got to turn it off because I'm asking myself, I did that. Damn. Because God could take you somewhere that you can't take yourself if you let him.
Amen.
That's on anything. And we ain't got to get preaching all of that, the whole thing, but I'm just saying the truth. The bottom line is, they're talking about how can you cancel somebody that God ain't canceled. Fool around and mess with God's people, you gonna get.
What do you make of T.K. Carter's legacy as he joined the realms of other Hollywood legends that went before him? Kindly drop a heart icon in the comments if you feel this loss.